Welcome to the bold analysis. The Church Council has come up with proposals and calls or some conditions on the bipartisan talks. And this is the M-Pesa bishops, the SUPKEM, the NCCK, and the Catholic Caucus. All the Church Council is a very strong fabric in our politics. And actually in 2022 elections, the quite part of the Church Council really took credit for having been in a position to spiritually lift William Ruto to the throne. But I remember in the bold here, I did an analysis last year in October saying that they have to still come up and put William Ruto on check. I see it as political hypocrisy, looking at some of the demands they've put on table. And without much ado, I want us to look at those demands one by one, and why I think it is a bit of some hypocrisy. The Church Council are saying that the bipartisan committee must and should include national unity. National unity. I see hypocrisy, and I think I'm a bit it's not very conducive. They are not so much welcomed on the talks on this ground, because it is not bipartisan talks that is going to talk about unity, while there skewed employment, skewed appointments at government ranks, and quite a number of them are quiet. Just the other day we did a report about how 2 tribes dominated unemployment in KRA. This report was all over in the magazine, in the newspapers, and they're quiet. So where is national unity? How will you take national unity in the guise of bring it in the talks, while things happening within the state that are actually against unity of a country, you cannot call them out? It doesn't still augur well. They've put the other one, cohesion. Cohesion is very important, but the Church Council, the bishops are taking this to bipartisan talks, while when William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua and a host of Kenya Kwanza MPs go to the top of the mountain and come out, number one, to attack Raila Odinga on very baseless grounds, or making very reckless statements on Raila, and to some extent even Luo community, they are all quiet. And same to the point when I listened to a speech by Wajakoya in Bondo, and I've been seeing the political tantrums being played on ethnic profiling. By that, to say the truth, there's a section of this council that has never condemned police brutality, and some went to bed with the government. So when things are bad on the ground, you don't see, where's cohesion? If a leader would go and profile a community and people from tribe X, but then you keep quiet, but then in the talks you want to bring cohesion, where is the honesty in it? They've spoken about and let me look at another one. You want to bring unity, but the sitting administration will trump up some charges against a former president, the family of the former president. Remember the gun drama? Remember a plan, to protest in front of Mama Ngina's place. You look at those things. Then a former president who really had a following in the country is negatively targeted, and this council is just quiet. They think those are the things that are against the cohesion of a country. You know. But then in the talks, you want to bring cohesion. Where? I'm not saying they're wrong, but I think the avenue is not the right one. You need to show intent from the word go. Look at the third one. They are saying how to end poverty. How to end poverty, but as we speak, the university funding model is choking parents. Yes. I am in nearly more than, I more than 11 WhatsApp groups. These WhatsApp groups are people that want fundraising to help support their kids going to university and going to colleges because the fees is ridiculously high. The funding model is highly been criticized by some quarters as discriminatory. And truth be told, the funding model that is going now looking at worst case scenario until others hawatalipa wengine have to pay, it has been made well on paper, but it has loopholes of favorism. You will hear a situation where, it was an equalizer. You hear a situation where people from some areas are getting it and some people are not getting it. Wait for those stories. The parents are crying about it. The parents are talking about finance bill. There is nothing. But they are quiet. However, now that is something that are directly affecting. So if you really care for Kenyans, then for me, I will look at their voices in that. Look at the third one, unemployment. So unemployment, and government runs a lot of propaganda about how they are going to create employment, about how the affordable housing is going to solve, while some members of the clergy are quiet and they know very well that some of these things are just propaganda. Now, this work of debunking and fact-checking has been left to the media. And the media is being bashed by the administration as those that are pro-Azimio or that those are pro-opposition. The church, which is supposed to play a very neutral figure to even explain, because for them they can even be trusted, they're all quiet. And not even a proposal in the budget about how unemployment is going to be addressed. How is bipartisan talks going to tell William Ruto about unemployment? While Kimani Ichung'wah is on record saying that we should not talk even about the cost of living, even the poverty. Kimani Ichung'wah have said we don't want to talk about the cost of living because that is the obligation of the government of the day. The church is quiet when Kimani Ichung'wah is saying that, but then they are going saying that bipartisan talks should bring it. Where is your honesty? On this one, we need to be very honest. Look at the last one, the war on graft. Government dropped some charges against individuals, people that sit politically right. Some of these members of the clergy were quiet. They didn't have a unitary force about it. But now, I'm simply not getting it. And that is why I want to be very brave. Why they should shut up. I think they should shut up. And number one is they abandoned the sovereign when especially the people came out during the aggression. The political aggression that arose last week was about people raising their voices about what they believe was not going on right. And those who were protesting were first profiled. Number two, the civil society organizations, we saw them, some of them organizing their own protests and using some tools to put government on check. There is no religious organization that has been enjoined in any single case, even about the finance bill. They have the resources. They are well funded. They have the resources. No single religious organization has been enjoined in any case that is putting government on check. Be it on finance bill. There have been a lot of illegalities There have been stories about how judges are transferred, urgently, simply because of being rumored to have made unfavorable judgment against the state. No, even if the churches, the clergy cannot go to protest, but they can also rush to court, and even if they don't sue government, they can join a case and give weight. You've seen civil society organizations, Mtaani have been moving in courts with files, an individual working with civil society organization. There is no single religious organization that has said, we are party to Mtaani's case, that we are even supporting in this manner. We've never seen. The last time they were talking was about LGBTQ. So I don't see honesty. I honestly, the country doesn't see honesty in this push, other than it could be a strategy to drag so that you derail. As Emil said, we want the talks to last for 30 days. They're taking on Monday. Now, after now the teams have been formed, secretariat, negotiating team, and the technical staff. Now the clergy is coming in. Now, if the talks are to look at all these things, we're going to have a situation of give and take. And someone will say, because we are looking at unemployment or graft. When these things are brought up, Kimani Chunga will tell you guys that, look here, this is a work of government to create jobs. It is the work of government to fight corruption. And so those are not going to be discussed. It's a bit of drag to derail. It will be simple and logical to ask to be included. That makes sense. But also you must come with clean hands. The sovereign complaint, and I'm a bit cagey about the clergy because they have been quiet. Lastly, some of them have been leaning. They have been leaning and failed to be firm against what would clearly be an illegality, or in black and white, this is wrong. I have been seeing features by nation coming out of the balanced newsroom stories, but taking a firm stand that this is wrong, this is right. They will call out government, this is wrong. They will call out opposition, this is wrong. That, according to me, is a work that even clergy can say. There is nowhere in this world that you can always be neutral. It has to be neutral. For example, if someone kills someone, do you want to say you have to be neutral if you saw that person killing? You must call out what it is. It is very clear that protesters were killed. They had wounds, gunshots. If that is it, then the most important thing is to ask, who is owning a gun? That is the right thing. Anything is sugarcoating it. So I have the challenge here is the clergy have lost their neutrality. They've been leaning, and some of them have been political mobilization extensions. On this one, I'm not seeing clean hand. And everything cannot be solved at the bipartisan talks. They can get audience with William Ruto. They have different avenues. They can head to court. They can petition the president. They can head to parliament. But you cannot keep quiet. But because you understand that the talks are getting visibility and the traction from the public, you are now to come in as the Messiah. On this one, I agree with involving, but bring all this garbage in a table while all of them have always been quiet is none other than hypocrisy. That's my bold. And that is why it is bold.